all walks of life that really thinks about Ghana and how Ghana will move forward.
When I heard about Progressive Alliance Movement, I said, this is the time that all Ghanaians, organizations, social clubs, and so on and so forth, should come under one umbrella to have one voice, not in Ghana, but in the United States as well. Because if we are not united here, we are not going to go anywhere.
What I see in Progressive Alliance Movement, and one of the reasons why I joined, their philosophy is, let us leave this world, and for that matter, Ghana, in a better shape than we found it, for the common good.
I actually got attracted because this have no money in the concerned Ghanaians trying to come together to better the future of Ghanaians. And as a young lady or as a Ghanaian person for my generation to have better economy, to have better leadership. So since there's no money involved and they are actually concerned about helping the people, I got attracted to help and also bring awareness to my age group.
We are not a political party. This is a movement, alliance movement. You see, our aims and objective is that our leaders will have to change their ways. Make sure they do what is right. Now, when it gets to a point whereby what we ask we don't get, then we will have to change our focus and become a political party, because what? We want to put someone in place who will do what the...
I'm admitting people to join now, so we can...
We haven't seen any effect either in Ghana, who has been able to the form of infrastructure development goals Ghana needs.
We have realities of life, and we have fiction, or when people want to make a great country, regardless of what people say or people think. But Ghana has a unique place in the world. Before that geographical location had its own unique structure that God Almighty gave to that country. But people with greed and selfishness have decided to turn that country into something else.
Now there's a saying in my language, my darling, if you making a path and you don't look behind you to see if it's straight, you might get back. But the one behind you who sees where you are heading, you are not heading towards the right direction. So it's about time that people wake up, come together, speak to our leaders and say, listen, the way you are ruling the land is not right for the people. Because there's so much suffering going on. And we got to the point that it will take only few to wake up and say that others will come into this.
As we, Progressive Alliance, see the voice and whole of whatever they come. We are not MPP, NDC, or any party affiliated. We are, and we are all Ghanaians, and our goal for better Ghana and for our generation to come. Thank you all very much. I guess the video states everything clear, and we are now 4:06, and we're about to start. Thank you. Josephine, if you can please mute yourself. I don't want to be muting people. People are joining. So let's give like 3 minutes, then we roll. If you can hear, please let me know. Everyone can hear you. Everyone can hear my voice? Okay. Thank you all very much. Once again, welcome. And my name is Catherine Cujo. We are here and we are here for one purpose only. We are here for Ropaa implementation. So we have a lot joining. Let me admit all. I'll be interrupted every now and then. We have more people joining. This is a good forum. That means that show positive 2024, we are going to vote. My name is Catherine Cujo, the CEO of Progressive Alliance Movement. Progressive Alliance Movement is a non-political party. And I repeat again, it's a non-political party. We are called PAM, and when we say PAM, we say fire. We are like a pressure group, or we are advocacy group that we focus Ghanaians in the diaspora and beyond. So please, if you join us, this is the first time, I would like you to visit our website, www.palmfire.org. You will learn more and also register to become part of us and have updates that we posted every now and then, or that comes up. So thank you. Our mission, Progressive Alliance Movement. Our mission is to promote and engage relationship between Ghanaians living abroad and their motherland, like I mentioned earlier. Please, if you can hear my voice, let me know. PAM is a non-political, like I mentioned, a non-ethnic organization that advocates for change in Ghana to benefit most of its citizens living abroad and at home to education, communication, litigation, and donation. We would like you to be a supporter today. Currently, the Progressive Alliance Movement, PAM, is currently focused on ensuring that Ghana's Electoral Commission implements the law that operationalized Article 42 of the country 1992 Constitution. It states that Ghanaians aged 18 years or older have the right to register and to vote in Ghana's election. After 4 presidential elections, where GLs, which is Ghana abroad, please let's mute her. Ghanaian living abroad deliberately excluded from voting per constitution 1992, 1996, 2000, beyond. A group of GLAs calling itself, to vote. And our lead, no other than Dr. Kofi Boateng. Kofi Boateng is also popularly known as Kofi Ropaa. Please, are you here at present? I saw you earlier on. Yes.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Thank you. So I'll hand over the microphone over to you, Dr. Boateng, to take it from here. And please, before Dr. Boateng starts his presentation, I wanted to make something clear that during the process inviting the speakers and also gathering the information for the flyer, we, the Progressive Alliance, we contacted the NDC party, but then they did not have anyone to partake or participate. So we might have somebody that will join us today, maybe Vincent. Please, you can text me on 929-240-2149 so you can present the NDC. So please, we reach out to them, but they weren't ready at that time. Thank you, Doctor. Please, the microphone is yours.
Thank you, Catherine. Catherine is the CEO of Progressive Alliance Movement, and I'm the chair, and we've worked together for many years. So today I am going to talk about my favorite subject, which is Ropaa. So first of all, what is Ropaa? For those of you who are kind of new to all of this, Ropaa is the acronym of Representation of the People Amendment Act. So I'm going to walk you through very quickly the history. If a law, and it's also called Act 699, that was signed into law on February 26, 2006 by President Kufuor. If a law is called amendment, that means it's amending something that pre-exists. So what is that something that the Ropaa law was amending? That something was PNDC Law 284 of 1992. And what is that about? PNDC Law 284 is called the Representation of the People. It is the law that the Electoral Commission in Ghana to this day follows in administering elections in Ghana, PNDC Law 284. And what was wrong with it? Well, PNDC Law 284 came into being at the same time, same year, as the Ghana current constitution, the Ghana Constitution of 1992. And in the constitution, as Catherine just read, in the Article 42 of Ghana Constitution 1992, it clearly states that all Ghanaians, emphasis all Ghanaians 18 years older and of sound mind can have the right, the word is right, have the right to register and to vote. That's what it says in the Constitution. Now, let's go back and look at a little bit of background. As we said, PAM is non-political. So PAM as an entity is non-political. It's not MPP, it's not NDC, it's not CPP, it's not anything. Of course, individuals have their own political sentiments. But when we gather as PAM, we are not in anybody's camp or anybody's pocket. So in that capacity, we speak freely. What was the background of politics in Ghana in 1992? Those of you old enough will remember that Ghana was ruled by a military, okay? The PNDC, okay? Led by Flight Lieutenant Rawlins, who decided in 1992 that he was going to put down his military fatigues, put on a suit and batakeri, and run for president. So we also remember that it's also under the same soldiers, a champion to begin and then Rawlins to continue, where a lot of Ghanaians left the country to go abroad. So they saw that, look, if we leave the Article 42 in there as is, because Article 42 was not making a distinction between Ghanaians living in Ghana and Ghanaians living abroad. then the votes of Ghanaians living abroad will go against the NDC. Therefore, what they did was, right after passing the Constitution, they came up with PNDC Law 284 to limit the right to vote to only Ghanaians who work in Ghana missions and embassies and Ghanaians on government scholarships, just a micro number, a very, very small number, and in just a flash, denying the franchise to the bigger majority of Ghanaians living abroad. By the way, you will hear me use the expression Ghanaians living abroad, and what Pam also uses. We don't use the word diaspora to describe ourselves because the word diaspora connotes someone who doesn't know precisely their roots. So you use the diaspora word to describe our African American and Caribbean brothers and sisters because they don't know exactly where they are from. But when it comes to us, we know our villages, our grandmothers, and even all the rivers and wells in Ghana. We bleed Ghana. So for us, we are the same Ghanaians, we just happen to be living abroad. We are not diaspora. So when Kati say GLAs, Ghanaians living abroad, that's what that is about. So PNDC Law 1992, 284, disenfranchised the bigger majority of Ghanaians. So when we put together an advocacy group in 2005, we used to call that one Diaspora Vote Committee, to go to Ghana and press for a change to PNDC Law 284 and extend the franchise to all of us. We succeeded. And as I said, Act 699 came into being in February 2006. So that meant that the following election of 2008 should have seen Ghanaians living abroad voting. But 2008 elections were held and we did not vote. Well, we were hopeful. We said, oh, 2012, we'll definitely vote. 2012 came, we didn't vote, okay? So we said, oh, let's not give up. 2016 came and we didn't vote again. So at this point, Pam came into being and Pam said, enough. We're gonna take the government and the Electoral Commission to court. So Pam funded by itself, with thanks from some of our colleagues here from the diaspora vote group and all of them came together, contributed, and we were able to mount a successful court case where in December 2017, the court found in favor of Ghanaians living abroad that definitely the court said 2020 Ghanaians living abroad should vote, period. No end and ifs about it, nothing left to anybody's debate. But 2020 came, and unfortunately, we were very, very hopeful, but unfortunately, something else also came in 2020 called COVID, which gave a very ready-made excuse to the EC for not implementing Ropaa in 2020. That was the year that we were very hopeful that it would happen. But we did something. We made the EC know for sure that if Ghanaians living abroad were not going to vote in 2020 because of COVID, then no one at the missions and embassies should also vote. Otherwise, it would be clearly discrimination that the court ruled, and we would take the EC to court on a whole different matter. And I know that 2020 was the first year that, and the first time that Ghanaians, mission workers and so on, also did not vote. So now we are looking at 2024. And the question is it going to happen in 2024? I'll save that answer when I come back at the end to share how we see 2024. So in interest of time to give everybody a chance to speak, I will pause here. Key Mama.
Thank you very much, Kofi Ropaa, Dr. Kofi Boateng. Before we move on to our Consul General, Atabuafo, I'd like PALM board members to introduce themselves if they are present. I see Nasiru.
Right, but you say you're going to talk on Ropaa, so that's what I'm calling you.
Hello, Nasiru, please kindly show your face and introduce yourself to us.
Okay. Hello, everybody. This is Nasir Ibrahim.
Okay.
I'm part of PALM board members. I'm in New Jersey. Thank you for all of you being on the platform today to discuss the moving forward for Ropaa. Once again, Nasir Ibrahim. Thank you very much, Kimama.
Thank you very much. We have another PALM member available to do presentation. Okay, themselves. Okay, thank you, Nasiru. We will move on to Consul General Atabuafo, New York.
Yeah, Kimama and my distinguished personalities on this platform, I will say good evening to you all. I thank Mr. Boateng for those opening remarks on Ropaa. And to the best of my knowledge, if anybody intends to vote that is outside Ghana, the person should be a Ghanaian. And first and foremost, let us look at who is a Ghanaian. Citizenship in Ghana is a question of law, and it is governed by the Citizenship Act 2000. The law outlines three main categories of nationality. That is, a person can be a citizen by birth, registration through marriage, and by naturalization. Aside these three, these categories, one can become a citizen of Ghana through something we say foundling and adoption. Under the Ghanaian law, nationality by birth is determined by the date and year the person was born. For example, if you were born before 6 March 1957, then you are a citizen of Ghana by birth. If you were born in Ghana and one of your parents were born in Ghana, or on one of your parents were also born in Ghana, you are also a citizen. So in a nutshell, we have to situate our argument on the fact that anybody who wants to vote in Ghana or outside should be a Ghanaian. And those of us who work within the Ghana consulate, we deal with documents. And our main document that we normally talk about is our passport. And the meaning of the passport tells us that it's an official document issued by a government, certifying the holder's identity and citizenship, and entitling them to travel under its protection to and fro to other foreign countries. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are lucky that all the embassies and consulates working for Ghana are all prepared to support our people who are not living in Ghana. Now in New York, we would like to always inform our people that the acquisition of passport is so important to the people who are residing in US here, and even to those of us who are working within the embassy. The passport is a document which even assists those of us within the consulates to have the actual data of our people who are residing in New York or in the US in general. Fortunately, we are told, and the government has taken it seriously, that anybody who has a passport in America here.
Hey, Mama, can you unmute all the other people? I think there's a lot of noise in the background.
I'm working. Oh, please, it's working. So, Council General.
And anybody who has a passport can travel to Ghana without visiting the consulate for a visa if the person has an American passport. And when the person is returning to America, the person can equally use the American passport and return to America or the US. This is helping many of our people who are staying in America here. And I would entreat our people to make sure that every Ghanaian living over here should try his or her possible best to acquire a Ghanaian passport. Secondly, previously, the kids who were born here were not given passports, but now the government has also mandated us to issue passports to the kids who were born or who are born here to be issued with passports. It means we are going to give your kids passports to enable the kids know their roots, because all the kids that you are giving birth to are learning, they are acquiring some knowledge, and the government need all these kids. And it will also help the children to know that, yes, they are Ghanaians, but they are not Americans. That is exactly what is happening now. We will entreat our people to take this seriously and then get to our offices. But the requirement for the kids are, one, we should also accompany the kids with their birth certificates and the parents' passport, that is the Ghana passport, either the mother or the father, so that it will come to testify that the kid is a Ghanaian and he's having, the parents are all Ghanaians. That is exactly what we did from the children that you would like to come in for the passports. Ladies and gentlemen, it will also interest you to note that when we talk about passports, we should also be talking about the Ghana cards. Yes, the Ghana card is a document which has been put in place in Ghana. And the question is, why do Ghanaians need Ghana card? We need this Ghana card to identify ourselves just like the passport. And this Ghana card is used in Ghana for people to access whatever information, whatever activities that they do in Ghana. It is also helping the government to have adequate data and planning for the country, because if you happen to know the number of people in the country, definitely it will boost the interest of government to plan well for the citizenry. And it will interest you to note that the government has taken it seriously to ensure that all the missions that is outside Ghana, all the missions and then the embassies or the consulates in America here, there is the hope that the first quarter of 2023, the missions will be issuing out these Ghana cards to Ghanaians who are in America here, of which there is also the hope that if all goes well, as is being planned by government, there's the tendency that if everything goes well, the need even for it to be used for voting or for any other activity can happen in 2024. And I'm saying if everything goes well, that is exactly what is going to happen. And when it starts, the mission or the consulate will inform all and sundry and make sure that we issue the Ghana cards to all Ghanaians who are here. And on that, if one wants to acquire the Ghana card, the person should come along with his or her passport, a birth certificate, and any identity or anything that identifies him as a Ghanaian. He should bring it along so that we can do it for the person. And when it starts, we will let our people in this country know when and where to go, and then when even to start this program. Ladies and gentlemen, I wouldn't like to bore you much. The Ghana Consulate is prepared to be with you. And on this very note, I will say, I wish you all a Merry Christmas. And I pray that the discussions of this Ropaa will come to fruition and the interest of our people to cast their vote in the next election will also be or inure to the benefit of Ghanaians. Thank you very much.
Amen.
Thank you very much, Consul General Boafo. Thank you so much. I guess we all heard it from Honorable's words that now our children can have a passport. Please, if you have any questions, you can post it in the chat section. And after all the presentation, we can all take it from there. So we don't hold any group. At this juncture, I would like to invite our sister Obaya. Please, if you're here, let me see you, hear your voice and unmute. Please unmute yourself. Yes, I see you now. I'll spotlight you. Thank you. Madam.
Okay.
The microphone is.
Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I have a little bit of cold, so my voice is not the greatest. Okay, thank you, His Excellency, Alabwa Tabuafo, for espousing what the mission does as far as passports are concerned. And I think Dr. Kofi Boateng also has elucidated more on the Ropaa and how we got to where we are. The issue that we've all been battling with is the implementation of the Ropaa, so that it will bring relief to tens and thousands of Ghanaians living abroad who have to travel every 4 years to go and cast their ballot at home. How do we bring the ballot to us here in the various countries that we live, as against we spending thousands of dollars to go home to do so? A lot has gone on in terms of advocacy, of course, with the Electoral Commission, who is the final call as far as the implementation. Hello. Can people mute themselves if they are not speaking? That will help the forum, please. Yeah, the EC has a major role to play in terms of crafting the CI that would fashion out how the process has to occur here abroad. And there has been a lot of dragging of feet by political parties. And I know my own party, the New Patriotic Party, we've had a lot of engagement with the leadership of the party to support that cause, because we believe it's a worthy cause. We believe that the amount of money that we have to spend in plane fares to come home and vote could have helped our constituencies in Ghana if they are to bring the voting rights here to us. So that conversation is still ongoing. They have expressed certain genuine concerns that we believe is our role to alleviate their fears, because this is not harmful. And the journey through this, we believe, has the potential to help Ghana at large. Because we're looking at if Ghana is positioned where the full gamut of the Ghanaians living abroad is deployed to the country, the benefit that the country will have is going to be enormous, as we are seeing now. Because if I feel that I am part of the decision-making process in Ghana in terms of who becomes my leader, then it gives me that impetus to want to contribute more to help my country. And so that conversation is still ongoing. One of the things that have come up in our advocacy work has to do with, the whole fear of diasporans or Ghanaians living abroad coming in drones to us where take over the realms of leadership in Ghana, which for me, it's not something that, even though to them it appears to be a fear for them, for us, it's a question of you present yourself, you endear yourself to your voting population, you craft your message, you build your relationship with them. And if they buy into your message and they find appealing to represent them, they will vote for you. It is not as easy as sometimes they make it sound like. There's a lot of work that goes into it. There's a lot of resources that it has to be expended to achieve that. So it is not just an easy thing that somebody comes in and then immediately, because he's from America or from Europe or whatever, then Ghanaian says, hey, we are voting for you. It takes a lot of hard work for it to happen. So that should not be a fear that is not making them commit to want the Ropaa to be implemented. But we believe that the Ghanaians living abroad, considering the quantum of contribution through remittances that we give home, should tell them that if we are very strategic and very intentional in the way we approach the Ropaa, and we marry the two, the country is the one that is going to benefit the greatest. One of the areas that I also see will help us in the implementation fight is also to move the advocacy from the national level through to the regional levels and also the district level, so that it becomes an everyday conversation that occurs within the radio stations and among our brothers and sisters in our district levels and stuff. If they understand what Ropaa is all about, what we stand to gain as a country if they support and push their lawmakers or their representatives within their various constituencies to support this in Parliament, if the CI is presented to them, then I believe we stand a very good chance of also pushing ourselves forward towards achieving the implementation of the Ropaa. And then also on the EC front, I think we still need to engage them. And possibly, if we have not done so, put together our own draft of what CI we feel can also work for them. Because sometimes when people don't live here and they are looking like, say, America, 50 states, we don't have consulates and embassies in all the 50 states. So in terms of implementation, where are you going to cite the various police stations for people to go there? Maybe if you are in New York, Washington, D.C., we have a consulate there, we have an embassy there. It might help you because of proximity. Hello? Hello? Yeah, Kimama, you are muted.
Ropaa, go ahead. I have muted the person. When I mute, then they unmute themselves.
Okay. Yeah, so when you look at the spread out of, for example, the USA, 50 states, and we pretty much have Ghanaians living everywhere. So how do we craft in terms of where polling stations or polling precincts will be set up so that people, for me who lives in Colorado, we don't have a consulate here, we don't have an embassy here or honorary consulate here. So the question is, do I have to travel all the way to Washington to vote from there or New York to vote from there? You know, so those of us in the West area, you know, that challenge, the EC in Ghana may not be able to know how to fashion that arrangement. So we need to help in terms of crafting of the CI to encompass all these other details that can be challenging for people who are not living in close proximity to the areas that has the embassies and also the missions. So in terms of our advocacy, to also look at that, that areas so that it helps them in their decision-making as well. I happen to be an observer at the Senegal, during the Senegal presidential elections, and they have a diaspora component to it. And as an observer, I went through the entire process with them, how they go about it, ask questions as to how they were able to create a voting center here in Colorado. Up until Colorado had a voting center, all the Senegalese that lived in Colorado areas were voting in Texas because their electoral commission had a certain number or a certain threshold that you have to reach. And once you reach that threshold, then it will give you a voting center. And in their case, I think the markup number was 300. So if you're able to register 300 of Senegalese in Colorado alone, then that gives you a voting center or a voting precinct where people can vote there. If you don't have that number, then the closest state to you is where you'll be added on to vote from there. That's what they were doing. So, I mean, it's something we can also learn from them. And then in their case also, they do their presidential separate from their parliamentary elections. They don't do it at the same time. And they have the diaspora representation in their parliament. And so when they are voting, the diaspora community votes for their representative to go and represent them at their parliament. In the case of Ghana, you know, based on the constitution and how our parliament is crafted, there hasn't been any provision made for representation of the diaspora body in our House of Representatives. And so those are areas that we also have to look at, because I can say in my state of Colorado, if you are to sample the Ghanaian population here, which is close to 10,000 Ghanaians, you have people from every region, every constituency in Ghana, all here. So if we are voting in a presidential election and also in a parliamentary election, then the parliamentary component of the election, how do we fashion that out in the implementation? Are we going to leave that one out and only focus on the presidential, or we are going to adapt the Senegalese version of having diaspora representatives, so that, let's say, if North America, we have 2 members of parliament, then the people in North America will do their campaigns and elect 2 people to represent them. And the European countries and all the other countries will do same, which I believe is a food for thought in our conversation, to take that into advisement as far as the implementation is concerned, so that they are not looking at how to break the constituencies into nitty-gritty to help capture every person who lives within a particular state that are spread out in all the constituencies in Ghana. Because that has been one of the arguments I'll say my brothers and sisters on the NDC side have also been making, that they feel it should be done in every country in the world, which I don't see the possibility of that. One of the arguments why they oppose it, that it should be implemented in every country in the world. As long as there's a Ghanaian living there, even if they are two, you have to go there and conduct elections. So those are the different arguments that, more or less is stalling the whole process. But I believe we've made a lot of advances at this point, and let's continue to push. Let's continue to focus on the regional and the district levels in terms of our advocacy and our campaigns, our media campaign. We can look at raising funds, buy airtime, maybe every Sunday or every Saturday, where we are going to continue to hammer on the Ropaa and generate a lot of discussion around it, so that it will sink down into the psyche of a lot of Ghanaians, especially those who are entertaining fears of thinking that there was going to be a whole exodus of Ghanaians coming in and taking over every aspect of Ghanaian life, which is not the case. We are not a threat. We are going there to help, to be part of the development of our country. And if not for the love of our country, we will say we are comfortable where we are and we wouldn't care what's going on there. But it's because of we love the country and we are ready to do whatever in our capacity to pass on our skill set, our ideas, our talent to help advance the cause of Ghana. That is why it is so imperative that they support this cause and push this agenda so that it becomes a reality. Thank you. I'll end here, and maybe question time I'll add to it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ms. Obaya Frimpong. You really, really hit the hammer where it needs to be hammered with the Senegal reference that we do with us Ghanaians. So thank you very much. At this juncture, I would like to invite Mr. James Kwabena Monfa Jr. Please let me hear your voice if you are present. Mr. James?
Yes, I am here.
Okay, you are here.
I am here as Kwabena.
You are here, so okay. Please, is there any way we'll be, can you unmute yourself for me? I'd like to spotlight you. You're not showing your face. You want to be behind the screen? Okay.
I don't have a problem showing my face. I'm here.
That's wonderful. I love to see your face. Please, the platform is yours.
Okay, so thank you very much for inviting me to this forum. And I greet you all wherever you are. I want to begin with an observation I made in a statistic I found recently that Ghana retained.
Please, can you give us a brief background of yourself? Please, everyone that comes on, give us a brief background.
Okay, starting with me. I thought you invited me because you knew who I was.
No, I knew, but I don't want to speak.
Yeah, so do the introduction. I don't like to.
Oh, why you don't like?
And why you invited me? Perhaps you can best tell.
Oh, okay. Is that the way it goes? Okay, then
yes,
go ahead.
Please.
I'll add to my report.
All right, good. My name is Kwabena Monfa Jr. So I made the observation that Ghana retained its position as the fourth largest in Africa in terms of remittances that are brought home from abroad in the year 2022, recording $4.7 billion US, which marked an increase of 44.4 from last year. So quite a significant number. Quite, a plus to our economy. And I think that it is also because people abroad are very much aware of what goes on in our country by their daily interactions with relatives at home. However, this there's a deficit of the total number of Ghanaians who are living abroad. Whereas we are able to capture the amount of money that enter Ghana through remittances, we are uncertain about the total number of Ghanaians who are living abroad. And I think that the last speaker alluded to some, if you like, unstudied, data about some numbers, estimations of persons living in some of the states in the United States. It's important that in this conversation, we appreciate the fact that without data, we cannot move forward. I want to segment the whole idea of implementing this in three ways. Number one, the notion or the idea of registering voters. Two, organizing the activity of voting itself. And then the third one, counting the vote and reporting, counting and reporting the votes. These are the three key issues that will bring to full implementation the Representation of People's Amendment Act 2006. And I think that one of your earlier speakers made reference to the Supreme Court decision that instructed the Electoral Commission to see to putting up the framework, the legal framework to get that done. And I'm sure that is what Obaya was talking to in terms of the constitutional instrument or the CI for that purpose. Suffice it to note that in 2013, when the first election petition was being heard at the Supreme Court, the Electoral Commission reported that there were about 42,000 votes that came from abroad. And I think that one of your earlier speakers talked about already existent arrangement where Ghanaians who are living abroad by way of affiliations to embassies or our foreign missions do vote. When the Supreme Court ordered that the Electoral Commission should provide the breakdown of that 42,000 or a figure around that, I don't recall that they successfully or they were successful in doing that. But that raises the issue about the population of Ghanaians outside where they reside and all that. And it was quite interesting listening to the last speaker before me talk about some lessons from Senegal and the fact that they already have a threshold that will qualify a state or a city or a country to have a registration center. Perhaps we can learn from that. And I think that should be part of the conversation going forward. At this stage, I tried to pull some information from the Electoral Commission. Unfortunately, I am unable to speak for them officially, and I'm not too sure what they have done. So it will be very important, and I think Catherine, forgive me for not doing your nickname. Catherine, I mean, there's an important step to take in reaching out to the Electoral Commission, who are bound by a decision of the Supreme Court, not just by the dictates of the law, but the Supreme Court decision, I think 2015 or so, that obliges the Electoral Commission or obligates them to see to actualizing this. Technically and practically speaking, I am not too sure how ready the Electoral Commission is now. But again, if you speak to them, I'm sure they can speak to the issues. And we need to look at the logistics, the technical issues that will be needed. Number one, if we're going to have polling stations in the United States, for example, which has the largest number of states, and forgive me, those of you from other countries, if I use the United States as an example, because they have the largest pool of segmented states. One would be asking, as Obaya asked, where will these centers be? And would we want to learn from the example of Senegal, for instance? Let's think about those things. But for me, I just want to say that every law at its formation or foundational stage has implementational difficulties. So as much as we will press to allow this, and I want to encourage this, you can go and check on the net as early as 2006. My civil society organization, Youth for Action Ghana, had been campaigning for the implementation of that law. So some of us are fully in support of Ghanaians living abroad participating in elections in Ghana. The issues must they vote in parliamentary and presidential? The last speaker, Obaya, I think, raised the issue. Can we have a seat for diaspora Ghanaians living abroad in parliament? Well, I don't know. I'm not too sure. The 275 seats that we already have, some of us think is on the high side. And we believe that restructuring our constituencies to have a lesser number will help our governance system. But if we think that constitutionally we need to have MPs representing Ghanaians who are living abroad, I'm not too sure there is an example of that until our last speaker made mention of the case of Senegal. Americans elsewhere in Ghana, they vote in America's elections. Citizens of the United Kingdom who are here in Ghana, they vote in their elections. But I have not heard of a representative or a member of parliament or a legislature, for that matter, for the people who are in the diaspora in these countries. I am not too sure. And if you stretch it too much, then you might also be asking for then, if we have got regional ministers, are we going to create a regional minister for Ghanaians living abroad? I think that is a bit extreme. So we should be measured in our demands or what we are calling for. Let's do one thing at a time. And I'm sure as the water finds its level, we will come fully embracing the idea. The political parties will fear. I'm happy that I am out of the political party space now. So I talk freely as I want to talk without looking back at what my party people or whatever anybody will say. But the issue is that if you look at the score of aggregates, Ghanaians elsewhere, if you look at the numbers, I'm not too sure what the figures are, and I don't want to estimate. If the numbers have the likelihood or the tendency of negating or doing away with what votes are counted in the country, the issues will come up. So we should weigh all these things, and as part of the reasons why people are a bit hesitant in implementing it. The Electoral Commission has the mandate and they have the authority to do it. So I am trusting and hoping that it will do, fair to itself. And the last point I want to make, in my previous partisan life, I recall as a representative of the Convention People's Party, then as its General Secretary, the Electoral Commission set up a committee to go around the world, to be headed by, I think, Deputy Commissioner Dr. Bosman Asari, to collate views as to how to implement. And so suggestions like what our sister Obaya was making, for example, would have come up. I'm not too sure if the committee went round. And that's why I want to insist that in this kind of forum and conversation, we need to have the Electoral Commission to speak to some of the issues. At the end of the day, they can tell us where they have reached, what their challenges are, how we can support them, what needs to be done. But we must be unanimous in this effort. I've seen my uncle SB Ajapong ask the question that the Electoral Commission couldn't organize elections for this constituency, Lolobi and Sal, okay? Uncle, the constituency called Sal hasn't been created. And even if it had been created, the law is very clear. The EC can only organize elections for them on the expiration of this present parliament. So let us not be mistaken about it. The EC is not bound by any law to go and organize an election in SAD. They can't do it. They can only organize an election when the constituency has been created. If a district has been created there now, so automatically they will have to create a constituency. And when they create the constituency, elections can only be organized for them at the expiration of this present parliament. On that note, I bring my message to closure and I wait for conversations.
I thank much Mr. James for taking the time. I know it's late in Ghana, and thank you so much. And sorry for the noise. Your delivery, it's well noted. At this juncture, I would like to invite Mr. Frederick the Ropaa Ambassador's leader all the way from Germany. Please let me hear your voice and unmute yourself so we can take it from here. Hello, Mr. Frederick? Can you hear me, Mr. Frederick? Are you in the house, Mr. Frederick? Okay, I see some hands up. Please bear with us. Once all our speakers finish, they will take the questions one by one. I saw Mr. Frederick earlier on. Time waits for no man. I would like to move on to Dr. Kofi Boat in case Mr. Frederick join us. Chance to do his presentation. Dr. Kofi Boatin. Doctor.
Yes, yeah. I'm here. You hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so what I'd like to do is to preempt some of the questions and save us some time.
Yes.
Some of the thoughts, ideas, issues that have been raised by the speakers.
Yes.
And they are all excellent. I really applaud all of you for making thoughtful contributions, obviously including Consul General. And I'll start with him, what the Consul General said. He said that in the first quarter of 2023, they expect to start issuing national IDs to us Ghanaians living abroad. That is really, really crucial and very welcome news. With whatever assistance you need from us to make this happen, please don't hesitate. Why is this so important? With that, as you can imagine, I have talked to at least four Ghana presidents since I got involved with this. 4 people have become Ghana presidents and gone or still here. And for each one of them, I have engaged on Ropaa. And the consistent one objection from the presidents has been that we don't have national ID system. This is even before we had national ID in Ghana, because the argument was that without a national ID, you don't know who is a true Ghanaian, and therefore each of the major political parties, that is NPP, NDC, are afraid that the other one will use Ropaa to disadvantage the other. And that is the main reason why these political parties have been against the implementation of Ropaa. Everybody thinks it will go against them. So the national ID would be one solution in terms of making us know who is a Ghanaian, of course, in addition to the Ghana passport. But the question of national ID as a document for voting is itself being debated in Ghana. But nevertheless, getting the Ghana passport and the national ID together are very, very important. And they lead into what the speakers, both Obaya and Mr. Bonfe, have been talking about, which is the constitutional instrument. When Justice Yeboah made his ruling in December 2017, he did give the EC 1 year to come up with a constitutional instrument. What is that? The CI, constitutional instrument, is the document that delineates the how, where, who, what of electioneering and voting and registrations, where people will vote, who can vote, and all those questions. And the Electoral Commission asked for more time that another judge granted them. And we still haven't seen the CI. As Mr. Bonfe was implying, yes, Dr. Bosman and his group did come here to the US, and we, PAM, hosted them. They had meetings with us here and also in Ohio and in Virginia to hear our views. And one of the issues that they were asking and wanting clarification was how do they determine Ghanaian and what documents can be used. And we never saw a draft of that CI, but presumably a draft was made because I personally engaged the Attorney General on this issue, and he said he sent it to Parliament. Later on, Catherine and I engaged the current Speaker, Honorable Bagbin, and he said he never saw any CI. So now the EC has admitted that they have to do a brand new CI with a new Parliament. So we are all waiting for that, a new constitutional instrument. And when that comes out, then we will know exactly what document is going to be used for identification, and then we'll know what kind of work advocacy that we are all going to do. In terms of the issue of whether we should do parliamentary or presidential, we at PAM have offered to the Electoral Commission. Years ago, I had a conversation with Dr. Afarijan, and we agreed that at least initially, we should do presidential. Parliamentary just complicates things, and we are not there yet. So just like the Senegalese experience, start with something that is less controversial, easier to manage, i.e. president, where we are all Ghanaians living abroad in all countries are considered one constituency, voting for one line, i.e. the presidency. And even if it's done as a pilot, it will be the wiser thing to do. And I think when the CI comes out, that's what we will see. We don't have to do everything at the same time. Kwabna mentioned that, yes, every implementation has challenges and you don't have to be perfect in the beginning. And that goes with the issue of the polling stations. And again, when Dr. Bosman and his group were here in 2000, actually, 2020, when they were here early part of 2020, we talked a lot about that. And they had visited Senegal before coming to the US and spent quite a bit of time with the Senegal Electoral Commission and learned all these things about the Senegalese experience. Notably, the Senegalese have a threshold of 500. They keep raising it. Used to be 200, they raised it to 500. And it simply says this, that anywhere where you can prove that you have 500 or more Senegalese residing, you can create a polling station. It's that simple. And then they talk about cost. The Senegalese, the volunteers themselves, they have volunteers representing all the parties who organize and supervise and report the election. Senegal has been doing this for decades. So there's a lot there to be learned where the cost can be managed and there will be we've never heard of anything about any stealing of votes or any misdeeds going on with the Senegalese. And not only Senegal, Cape Verde. Cape Verde has also been voting vigorously for many, many years. To take only 2 examples, there are at least 12 more in Africa. So all these can be done. And as I said, right now, what we are waiting for is a constitutional instrument for 2024 to come out of the Electoral Commission to the Attorney General's office and then go to Parliament. And the way it works is that once it gets to Parliament, they don't vote on it. The Parliament doesn't vote on it. It is there for 21 days once it makes it to the agenda to be acknowledged. And after 21 days, if there's no, or anybody raises a concern to amend it, which itself required two-thirds vote, and we just saw from the Kenoforiato censor that it's not easy to get two-thirds vote in Ghana Parliament. Then it goes on to become law after 21 days. So the CI is a crucial instrument, a crucial milestone that we have to cross to get to the finish line. And before I end, there's another very important point that we gathered here should be aware of, which is that currently we shouldn't talk as if we don't know what is going on, because we do. Currently, our country is going through serious financial crisis. And so we have to be attuned to the fact that about the possibility of Ghana is facing so many threats that, frankly, there's a possibility that there may not be any elections at all in Ghana in 2024. I'm not saying anything, I'm not using the C word or anything, but it's a possibility because the country is that much under threat. And added to that, the EC may come and say that they don't have money to organize overseas voting. So we have to look into all these things and be ready. And also, finally, the Ghanaian public, who, when the Electoral Commission ran around in 2019, they had 100% support in Ghana for the implementation of Ropaa. Right now, that has dropped significantly because the priority of Ghanaians is not even voting. The priority of Ghanaians is eating. And these are all realities that we have to be attuned to. Somebody asked the question whether the EC, anybody from EC is on this forum. The answer is no, but I made them aware. I sent them the same flyer that you all got, and they gave me thumbs up. So from everything that I'm saying, you see a lot of work is going on by Pam and certainly myself. So I will pause here. I hope I have answered and preempted a lot of your questions, but you are free to ask some more. Thank you all.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you very much. Please get a text message that Mr. Arnold Appiah, are you on here from NDC?
Yes, I am here.
You are here, you are here. I'm trying to search for you. What's the name you have on here?
My name is Arnold Appiah.
Okay, I see you now. So welcome. Better late than never. Glad to have you here. Please introduce yourself and give us a 5 minutes presentation about the advocacy of Ropaa. No party campaign here, please. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you very much for the opportunity given. I am the president for the NDC Professionals Forum and a member of the NDC. Pardon me, I am driving trying to park. But of course, we are all interested in Ropaa. We believe that Ghanaians abroad need to be given the opportunity to contribute to the democratic process of our country. However, what we are really looking out for is the moments where it will be based on equity, where no one will be disenfranchised. Ghanaians everywhere, as long as they meet the requirements, should be given the opportunity to be able to be part of the process. Now, the issue that many have raised has to do with the implementation, of which for me, it is key and also sensitive on the grounds that we all know that the stakes are always high when it comes to elections in Ghana. Therefore, to be able to provide that fair ground for each and every stakeholder to feel that, they've not been sidelined or any other body or party is getting any advantage, it would be better for us to question the Electoral Commission, whether it does have the capacity to go out there and involve all Ghanaians in the diaspora to be part of this process. Yes, most first-hand projects of this nature do come with challenges. However, we have to be able to put in place mechanisms to ensure that it will not be that impactful in a negative way. If they can involve all Ghanaians in the diaspora, that would be fantastic. We should not, be seen where priority is given to others and others will not feel part and parcel of it. In any case, we have Nigeria, West Africa, etc. Maybe if they want to start, they can start from there, just to test the pulse and see how it's going to go. But the concept should be that Ghanaians everywhere should be given the opportunity. The fact that someone is in Nigeria and somebody is in the United States should not be, a disadvantage whatsoever. Location should not be a problem. It has to do with, one, the capacity of the Electoral Commission having the ability to do it, and also ensuring that no one is disenfranchised in the process, because all of us do contribute to the economy of Ghana. So we all love it. We welcome Ropaa, and we will do whatever that we can to support it, only on the grounds that it is fair. The EC has the capacity, and just like the Supreme Court ruling states that Ghanaians everywhere, we shall have the opportunity to cast our ballots when the platform is given. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pierre. You came in late, but you delivered well. At this juncture, I'll ask if Mr. Frederick is available. Yeah,
I'm available. Thank you very much. Good morning.
Yeah, I couldn't spotlight Mr. Arno because her system doesn't have the spotlight button for me to spotlight him. Same as Mr. Frederick. I'm unable to spotlight you. Please unmute yourself. Okay. Mr. Frederick, please unmute.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good afternoon to everyone. I'm Frederick Addo. I'm the co-founder of a volunteer group called Ropaa Ambassadors. I think the previous speaker from NDC highlight a major point about the law of the Electoral Commission. Ropaa Ambassadors are volunteer groups created about 4 years ago to support the Electoral Commission in terms of logistics. Currently, we are having over 6,000 Ghanaians in 40 countries, even countries where we don't have Ghana missions. We have people in US, in France, in Sweden, in Kuwait, Egypt, Nigeria, and we've having a link and with all the Ghanaian associations and Ghana unions, and we've even contacted various Ghana missions to have the data. For instance, with the mission of Italy, for instance, we've helped them to inculcate a Google form on their website where people can get filled to collect the data. And with the Ropaa ambassadors, we've engaged with the Electoral Commission. We've met the Deputy Electoral Commissioner 2 times with some of our members, and we've discussed how we can collaborate to help them in terms of logistics. We know that currently we are having 52 Ghana missions, knowing that certain missions are in charge of 3 or 4 countries. And I think with the help of the Ghanaian communities in various countries who are volunteers in our group as Ropaa ambassadors, we can help support the Electoral Commission. So I'm taking this opportunity to greet all of them. Most of them are on this platform. I've seen James McKeon from Finland, and I've also seen someone from Kuwait and other people. We have people even from Afghanistan. So as my friend NDC was saying, we are trying to work with the Electoral Commission, and the Electoral Commission is working very hard. I think in 2020, they prepared the constitutional instruments, which was brought to the Parliament in April 2020. And very unfortunately, it wasn't late and the date expired. I had a discussion with the Deputy Electoral Commissioner, I think a few days ago on that. And there's a new one on the way, in preparation, constitutional instrument for the implementation of Ropaa. So I think with the Ropaa ambassadors, we've been working also with the Progressive Alliance movement for the past 2 years. I think the last court proceedings, we joined hands to do it. And we are very happy to work with the Progressive Alliance movement. And I think this is time to push forward. And there is also reason to help push for the implementation of Ropaa, because we are living in a global challenge. Someone will say, what has the global challenge to do with Ropaa? It doesn't mean that we are not going to implement Ropaa. And currently, without doing politics, foreign exchange reserves of the country is not enough, not sufficient, and loans are not coming in. And for the past few months, our group has been also lobbying the various ministries, Ministry of Finance, to implement the diaspora bond. And we think the diaspora bond could be an opportunity for the country to have foreign exchange reserves. And we are even using it to help implement Ropaa. I had a discussion with the chief director of the Ministry of Finance, and they are ready to discuss on it. And I've made myself available to be at their next meeting. I'm stating this point on the Ropaa bond, diaspora bond, sorry, because though certain leaders are not happy accommodating Ropaa, now they have seen the importance of having the diaspora bond to support. We have countries which have succeeded in implementing diaspora bond. Israel, for instance, since 1951, over 70 years now. Since 1951, Israel has not been going to the international market for loans or grants. And just close to Ghana, Nigeria, I just started the diaspora bond. I'm not boring you with the diaspora bond, but I think it's something new. It's a new program which can help influence. Our work is advocating. So we are trying. Someone asked if there's someone in the issue. I think see some are listening to our program today. They received the invitation. The invitation has been sent to a lot of important people who are following the meeting. Thank you once again, and greetings to members.
Thank you, Albert. Please mute yourself. So please unmute yourself. Please, Maxwell, I have to mute you. Okay. Now, thank you. Thank you. What a great presentation our speakers have. And we are all here to push Ropaa to be implemented. And we believe that they have heard our voice. EC is in the known of this. For those who have no idea that we've been, going back and forth with EC for some time now. At this juncture, I saw few hands, but I'll give James the first person to ask his question. We are going to be here. Let me check the time management. We have 30 minutes to do the Q&A. So James, please ask your question so our speakers will be able to answer. From there, I would like to invite one lady, one guy. I invite then Mr. Beneza. Then I see Nasiru, and then Nasiru will do the closing for us. Okay, Mr. James, please unmute yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay, I see you.
Oh, how many James? James as well.
James on it. With James McKeown or James?
My hand is up. James, my hand is up. James, yes. I'm in so thank you, Madam Catherine, for the opportunity. My name is James.
I'm seeing, James McKeown I'm talking about. Those, I have only one James McKeown. That's you from.
All right. Thank you very much, Key Mama. And greetings to all of you.
Make it short. Yes, sure.
Yeah. I think my issue is not a question per se. It's just a short comment. I think that for a while, I think since our last court case that we had with Samson, Palm and Ropaa ambassadors have been a bit quiet on this issue of Ropaa. You know, I think we have had enough of these, fora discussing these matters. We need to have more action. You know, their visibility in our media presence is now a bit low. And once we lose that momentum, then we are losing the fight. So I think that we should be more out there. Our media engagement, our public engagement should be more. Of course, these sort of conference meetings are important to discuss the ideas. I think that I see a lot of laxity with the Electoral Commission. The issue of there's no money, I don't buy into that idea, because definitely in 2024 there will be elections in Ghana, and therefore once we should not be advocating for the EC or those who are supposed to be financing elections that there's no money. Other than that, it means that we are rather contributing to our own discrimination. And so we should not be advocates for the EC or the government or the parliament that's supposed to, pass the constitutional instrument if it is presented to parliament. We should rather be a force. We should be, be more vigorous. And I'm not seeing that these days. So I think that we should be more active. That's what I want to say. Let's briefly.
Thank you very much, Mr. James. Now I'll move on to Ms. Appeal. Please, if you are not on the platform, kindly mute yourself so we can move faster, so other people will have opportunity. Ms. Georgina, I see your hands up.
Okay, thank you for giving me the opportunity. I have one comment and one contribution, and it's going to be quick. One, I understand that Ropaa is working for us to be able to vote the next election, 2024 or thereafter. I was wondering, since maybe the new Ghana card will be an ID, or can there be a way for them to for us to identify ourselves if we want to vote by mail? Because we see how big, especially for example, Ghana, America is. We are all scattered all over. Should there be a way for us to do a mail-in ballot to cut down with stations, but polling stations that we don't have? Because when it comes to Juma, some of us may not be able to probably travel far off to vote. So we want to be able to have this privilege of voting, doing a mail-in ballot. Okay, that is one. Number two, I'm also asking if the Ropaa is limited to only voting. I understand way back years ago, people abroad could bring in stuff and products at no tax, and it was just something to incentivize people who are living abroad to bring in products from abroad, and that privilege was taken away. I'm wondering if Ropaa will be addressing that issue with Parliament so that Ghanaians will be able to be a force economically, contribute to the development in Ghana in terms of bringing in a product that will be tax-free. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Georgina. At this juncture, I'd like to call Mr. Ebenezer, then next to Elijah Amano, then we finish with Mr. James. Then our speakers will respond to the questions and give our closing remarks. Then Mr. Nasiru can give us a closing on behalf of Progressive Alliance Movement. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. This is Ebenezer or Entakofa. Straight to my question regarding the constitutional instrument. I am very much interested in the whether is the EC who is going to decide on which document ID is to be used to do the voting, or is it going to be decided or in consultation with the other political parties, both NPP, NDC, and all the other parties involved? My second question too is that, for instance, when you take a place like the United States, apart from the 50 states, we also have the US territorial territories. Like you are looking at Hawaii, and then looking at US Virgin Islands, and you're also looking at the places like American Samoa, which I believe very well that there are some of our Ghanaian brothers and sisters who are living in those places. So it's the EC or your group. Do you have any measures in place to make sure that should in case Ropaa should be implemented, those folks are not disenfranchised? So those are my two questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ebenezer. That will be answered by the speakers that it applies to. Let's move on to Elijah Amano, please, if you're there.
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you very much. Like you rightly mentioned, my name is Elijah Amano, and my question is specifically directed to Dr. Kofi Boateng. I'm not sure if he's still here. He did make a specific statement. And my concern, if you can help me address that, has to do with what we are aware of going on in Ghana, and the part that he added, that there's a likelihood that there would not be an election in 2024. What would be the basis? I'm a little concerned about that. If you can throw more light to clear minds as far as that specific statement is concerned. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Amano. I'll move on to James. James Amemaso, if I pronounce the name right, forgive me. This is your turn.
Yes.
And I want to speakers to respond to the question.
Thank you, Madam Catherine, for the opportunity. My name is James Amemaso, and I just want to make a quick comment and possibly a question at the end, and it has to do with the fact that Ropaa is a good thing. We all want to have the right to vote. And then but Dr. Kofi Boateng and Mr. James Kwabena Bonfrey, if I got your name right, I think you made the case very clear about the economic stress that is happening in Ghana right now. The fiscal pressures are very high right now, and we are talking about implementation of Ropaa. And then we also using Senegal as a benchmark, as an example. My question is, if the speakers who are probably focused on Senegal have checked the economic growth of Senegal, for instance, vis-a-vis Ghana, I know for a fact that 2021, Senegal's inflation was 2.18, all right, while Ghana's inflation was very high. As of now, 2022, Senegal's inflation rate is 7.5. Ghana, we know very well, is through the roof. And 2023, moving forward, we don't know what the situation is going to be. Our big question is about how to bring Ghana out of coma. We just pretending Ghana is not in coma. And we are talking about having Ropaa election. I am concerned about that. If you could please address that for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I think I'd like to Council General please, Madam, you are muted. Noise is coming from your end. Don't yourself. Thank you very much. Dr. Honorable Atabuafo, please.
Thank you very much, Kimama. I heard one of our ladies talking about an online voting, considering where scattered our people are, and then we put in place certain systems like what is being done by others. When the EC sends all these guidelines to Parliament, the CI will definitely be put in place, and there should be some people who will go in to put across some of these points. Parliament, that is exactly what we normally do. So these guidelines as to where people will be voting from, and then certain measures to be put in place will all come out of the CI. So we should not be afraid of maybe other people being disenfranchised one way or the other. Definitely the constitutional instrument will handle some of these things, because we will have the right to go in and then do some input, enrich the guidelines.
Okay, I think one of the lady asked about the process, whether the Ghana card or the passport. I think something like that, if I'm correct.
You know, since all, as I said earlier, since all these things are going through Parliament, all these measures will be put in place. We shouldn't make any form of assumption that we are going to use this or that. But when the CI goes in there and then it is approved in Parliament, definitely there will be an input by individuals, and then they will enrich it and then let us know which document should be used to for the process. So let us be patient, and then we push so that this system comes to play. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Dr. Kofi Boateng.
Yes. What do you want me to do? All right, let me run through some of the questions from my perspective. I'll start with James. What is it? Amemo? James, help me. James E. Let's say James E.
James Amema, that's fine.
Okay, Amema son, right. Yeah, you were, yes, it's a good question. We keep comparing Senegal implementation of overseas voting as a model. Yes, Senegal at this point, you would think is in a stronger financial position, as you yourself laid out in some of your statistics. Senegal has a population of 17.2 million to Ghana's 35 million, about half the size of Ghana. For the debt, this is a key one. The debt to GDP ratio, which everybody is talking about these days, is about 85% in Ghana. It has crossed the red line of 70%. Ghana has crossed. Senegal isn't too far behind, actually, to the red line. They are 69.17%. That seems to be the story all over the continent. So the question is really, and that's where you were trying to drive at, whether Ghana ever will have the money to finance overseas voting. I'm going to digress and share a fact with you. More than 40% of Ghana's cost of voting every year, every cycle, is not paid by the government of Ghana. It is paid by what they call donor countries in Europe and the USA, period. So we can talk all we want about cost, and anybody can present that as an objection, but hit them with that fact that, wait a minute, what are you talking about? You don't pay the cost of your vote in any way, and they'll shut up and they do publish that once in a while in the newspapers. So we should not be afraid. Again, I've had conversations with electoral commissioners in Ghana through the years, and every one of them has said the cost is not the issue. The issue is political willingness and mindset. That is the issue, not cost. Okay. Somebody asked the question about U.S. territories and whether they shouldn't be forgotten. Okay. By the way, Hawaii is not one of U.S. territories. It's one of the states. About Guam, Virgin Islands, and those kinds of places are U.S. territory. Now, again, it goes to what my dear friend, Honorable General Consul General said, that all those kinds of things will be covered in the CI in terms of the scope, okay, and the quantum of deciding where they'll place ballot boxes. So I can say whatever I want to say, it doesn't matter. The CI will define it based on what the Electoral Commission people who have gone around and studied this as their job. It's not my job. Have seen, heard, and decided. And then specifically, I know the minute you say that Ghana is under threat and there may not be elections in 2020, everybody gets scared. So what is he talking about? What does he know that we all don't know? Well, who is Kofi Boateng talking to? Well, I'm not talking to anybody, but if you run an organization in a country, there's something that they call SWOT analysis, where you have to look at the strengths for SWOT, the strength, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats. So based on what is going on right now, we would be very foolish not to consider the threats facing Ghana. And we don't have to be afraid. I mean, one of the threats that's happened in Sri Lanka and happened years ago in the Ivory Coast and happened in North Africa, there could be a popular uprising. You know, when people get to a breaking point, there can be a popular uprising. There can be a coup d'etat, you know. There can be anything. So I'm simply saying we shouldn't bury our heads in the sand like ostriches. Be alert, aware, and protect against these things. Someone asked the question whether Ropaa is only about voting and whether it has other economic angles to it, such as bringing things home at lower rates and so on. No, Ropaa is strictly about voting. I don't want to mislead you. All the other things need to be fought on other fronts. And our colleague, Frederick Addo, threw out the idea of what he calls diaspora bond. Well, first of all, as I said, I guess earlier on, that we don't like to use the word diaspora to describe Ghanaians, that we are Ghanaians abroad. I wrote an article. This answers one of McEwen's questions about PAM not being visible. Early November, I wrote an article that was published widely, where I think the title was Ropaa and the IMF, a curious connection, something like that. And I put out the idea of, I talked about where we are, and I put out the idea of what I call Ghana Homeland Fund. Very similar, Frederick, if you take out the name to what you are saying. As Kwabena said, about $5 billion, and that is on the low side. That's what's able to be counted, are remitted to Ghana each year by us. So if our government is really in the streets and they were really serious, we Ghanaians living abroad are a huge asset that they should, I'm not saying they could, they should turn to and tap us. Right now, there are about 82 of us present. If I asked you how many of you would be willing to contribute any amount from $1 to 100 Deutschmarks or pounds, whatever it is, that you'll be willing to contribute to save and rescue Ghana financially, even if you are told you never get that money back, I'll bet you I'll get better than 60% right now, okay? But if our government is not organizing us and approaching us and taking us as a good asset, then you go to the IMF. We sitting here, Ghanaians living abroad, can generate more than the amount that Ghana is going to borrow and be humiliated at the IMF. And it will be free money, free money. They don't have to pay interest. They don't have to reschedule any debt. And we can direct where it goes. I mean, serious conversations will have to take place in terms of who will manage the fund, what projects it can go to, and on and on and on. But all of those things can be done, but it takes a willingness, once again, by our government not to ignore us. You see, this is what gets me angry. They are always ignoring us. Our leaders come to this country, they don't even arrange to see us. They'll go see one white banker somewhere who is promising to dig us further into the hole, than meet people like us to say, look, organize yourselves and raise some money from among yourselves for us. Simple. And we would, just like the IMF will give them conditions, we will also give them conditions. But it can work. When Eritrea was fighting Ethiopia, Eritrea didn't have money to buy arms. You know what they did? Their leaders will come to the US, go to stadia, all the Eritreans will be there, and everybody will dish out cash. That's how they finance their war. with Ethiopia. Unfortunately, to me, went to the wrong course, but it has been done, and over and over and over. Morocco has this thing, fund, Moroccans living abroad fund, and it works beautifully. And I can go on and on and on and on and on. It comes to our Ghana, and we are quiet, and we keep saying we are an asset. Come to us. That's what I wrote about. So we are not invisible at all. We are always engaging the Electoral Commission, the leaders of parliament. Sometimes your engagement has to be on the quiet side, because right now, as I said, we have to be sensitive to the mood in Ghana, that we don't upset our own hard work. And we have to be also working quietly to bring this thing home. We are almost there, almost there. Things are falling in line. You heard the Consul General talk about the ID card, the passport, that now we can get for ourselves without any question of somebody asking you whether you have an American or Canadian or Finnish passport, right? As Consul General, they don't even ask you that question. All you have to do is prove that you are a Ghanaian and you get your passport. When we started, it wasn't like that. But now, so the road is opening up. So let us be hopeful, be consistent, and keep pressing. We will get there. Thank you all.
Thank you, Doc. So we have two more, then we'll come back to official closing, then we'll move on. 12 minutes, we are out of here. So please have James Antiyabua hands up. Please kindly voice up. Very quick, short question. Thank you. Ja Asante. Hello? Hello? Okay.
Hello, madam.
Okay.
Hello.
Please, your short question for
Yes, I'm on the floor.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay.
Yeah, please. My question is the EC in a poor position to rope up this Ropaa? Is the EC in a poor position? But because looking at the time frame and I don't know the preparation so far as to whether the EC is in a good position to ensure that this time the Ghanaians living abroad will cast their vote. Thank you.
The quick answer, yes. Why? Why do I say that? They've known that they have to do this since 2006, 16 years. If after 16 years you have to give an excuse, then you should lose your job. That's the answer. That's what the court in 2017 told them, that you've been at this thing for more than 10 years. So you don't give me any excuse.
The next hand up is that's the last person to ask question, because we will have another forum coming up very soon. Let me tell you, we on fire, and I know you're going to be there. Mr. Ofori Enim, please, your question.
Most important step must sleep quality. It is vital, emotional.
Mr. Ofori Enim. Last call, Mr. Ofori Enim. Okay, so now hands down. I think Mr. Ofori Enim is not ready to ask the question. We have to move on. Time is everything. Once again, on behalf of the Progressive Alliance Movement, those who...
May I just say a word or two, please?
No, I'm getting to you.
Okay.
It's Mr. Frederick, right?
This is Kwab Nabonfe Jr.
Oh, yeah. I'm coming to you.
All right.
And sorry, Mr. Nasir has risen his hand for quite a long time.
Yeah, Mr. Nasiru is... So Mr. Nasiru is going to give us the closing remarks on behalf of Progressive Alliance Movement. Yes, he just want to keep my mind on him.
Okay, thank you.
So don't worry, Mr. Nasiru is a board member. And thank you. I just, sometimes we have to be a little bit sarcastic to make things lighter for us. Okay, thank you. On behalf of Progressive Alliance Movement, once again, Honorable Daniel Atta Buafu, Ghana Permanent Mission, New York, I would like to thank you. Dr. Kofi Boateng is our own, is the Progressive Alliance Movement Chairman. Madam Baya Frimpong, Branch Chairman of MPP. Mr. Frederick is the ACGIE, Association Concerned Ghanaians in Europe for Human Rights, Democratic Governance, and Peace Initiative for Africa. Then Mr. James Kwabna Bonfa Jr., Consult Integrity Association. Please, Mr. Bonfa, I'll start the closing remarks from you, since your hands is up.
Well, my name is Bonfe. It's Bonfe.
Bonfe.
Yes, please. It's Kane and Associates. It's an HR and legal firm in Accra. Well, the first point I want to make is that just to draw the attention of my friend, Dr. Kofi Boateng, that in 2020, contrary to what he said, the government of Ghana fully and solely funded our elections. It is right that most elections before that had received some funding assistance from donor nations. So let's take note of that. There was a question about the process of registration. I want to address that by saying that the mandate to organize elections, from registration through the election itself to the count, is solely the duty of the Electoral Commission. So whatever anybody will suggest or say is at the decision point of the Electoral Commission. Then the last point I want to make is this: the cost of not holding elections in 2024 is going to be grave than any costly elections we will have. And as somebody who talks democracy, I don't like the idea of even suggesting coup d'etats. Dr. Boateng, we are Democrats. The worst form of a constitutional government is better than the best form of a military intrusion. So let us not let it come in our conversation at all. We would go through the process, and I know no matter how difficult it is, Ghana will raise the needed resources to hold elections in 2024. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'll now move on to Honorable Consul General Tabuafu to give us the closing remarks.
Yes, Imama and my distinguished personalities on this platform, I think we've done well to talk about this very issue, this Ropaa. And I am of the hope that every government, it could be MPP, it could be NDC, each government would wish that Ghanaians anywhere would, at a point, put up their votes. Let us be patient. Let us push, as some of our contributors talked about. Let us push. And I hope things will definitely get normalized. And the missions all over are ready. The moment the Electoral Commission and Parliament gives the approval, I think most of these missions would have nothing to say, but rather to contribute towards it. Thank you very much, my good people.
Thank you very much, Honorable. I'll now move on to Obaya. I know you're not feeling well, but please give us your closing remarks.
Yeah, thank you, P. Mama, for this forum. I believe it's a step in the right direction to seeing that Ghanaians living abroad get a chance to vote. We need to intensify our advocacy. Like I said, regional engagements, district level engagements are going to be key, because it has to be on the front burner of discussions in Ghana. Whatever the economic situation in Ghana is, if elections are going to be held in Ghana, then elections with the economic challenges the country finds itself in, then there's no point in saying that diaspora or the Ghanaians living abroad cannot vote as well. So if we are not having election, then we are not having election. And so to disabuse the mind of the speaker who talked about the fact that because of the economic challenges, we cannot have elections, I think it's not something that will happen. Elections are going to be held regardless of the situation we find ourselves in. This is the system of governance we have chosen as a people to govern ourselves with, and regardless of what the situation is going to happen. We just need to make sure the CI is ready, it's in Parliament, the 21 days, sitting days, goes through that process, and then eventually we'll have the law that would usher the diaspora elections to take place. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll move on to Mr. Frederick Addo.
Thank you, thank you, and thank you very much, Progressive Alliance Movement, for all your advocacy for Ropaa implementation, and also to all your executives for making this forum possible. Going forward, I would like to plead to everyone living abroad, every Ghanaian living abroad, to join hands to all advocacy trying to push for Ropaa implementation. First of all, Progressive Alliance Movement, those who want to join have to join. Someone just posted a question if there's a WhatsApp group. The Ropaa ambassadors have WhatsApp group, 3 main ones, and also a WhatsApp group for every country. In certain countries like US, we have more than 100 people. And we have platforms for all countries, Egypt, even Afghanistan. So if anyone wants to join, he can contact any one of us or send an email to diasporaropal@gmail.com, diasporaropal@gmail.com, so that we add the person to his country Ropaa platform. So from now onwards, whether you are NDC, NPP, CPP, we are pleading that you lobby your political leaders, because Ropaa implementation is more of political will, as Dr. Ropaa just said. So we need lobbying, because there's no tangible reason not to implement Ropaa. And as I said in my discussion, due to the global challenges, our leaders are now trying to appreciate the importance of the diaspora. And I think they are thinking of the diaspora bank. Even though we don't like the word diaspora, I think they need us. Thank you very much. Thank you, Kimama.
Thank you.
Please, can you repeat the email again, please? The email, please.
Post it in the box for
Diaspora Ropal.
Post it in the message box. Yeah.
Okay.
And also, Mr. Frederick, you are very fast on us building your network on Progressive. I'm sure it's a fast one. I caught you right. This day, I'd like to call Mr. Pia and Dr. Pia, NDC. Please, are you in the house?
Yes, I am.
Okay, please give us your closing remarks. Thank you for staying around.
All right, thank you. And let me also reiterate that, yes, I'm a member of the NDC, but also I'm the president for the NDC Professionals Forum in this regard. Ropaa is something that, like I said, we all, welcome it. We will all advocate for it. The issue that has been in contention has to do with the capacity of the Electoral Commission to deliver. I would also encourage all of us to bring the Electoral Commission to the table for him to explain how he intends to operationalize or implement this laudable project. But above all, we should ensure that no one is disenfranchised. Every Ghanaian everywhere outside Ghana who is qualified must be given the opportunity to vote in that process. We should not advocate just for a section, but rather as a whole, because in the name of equity and natural justice, we cannot leave anyone behind in this process because we all contribute. We are Ghanaians and we must be given equal opportunity. So it is either the EC will have the capacity to roll it out worldwide, or they wait till they have the capacity to do so. And also, let me also say that in 2016, the budget was funded 100% by Ghana. The 2016 budget of Ghana was funded by the government of Ghana, including that of the election, with no donor support. So just to put that on record. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Progressive Alliance Movement has one focus, and one focus is that 2024, Ghanaians living abroad will vote, whether the country is going through challenges or not, because we are going to add on. We are not going to take out. We are going to add on to the economy. So we are pushing. And there's someone on the platforms willing to donate $50. Our websites have a donate button, palmfire.org. Donate any amount to support us. The battle is still on. We don't know, we might end up again, to fight it. Although we won, we're still here. We're still fighting, but every penny, nickel, or dime is welcome. We are non-political, and we are, the fire force pushing Ghanaians living abroad to vote. At this juncture, I'd like to call Nasiru to give us closing remarks, some encouragement, motivation to add on to everyone on this platform. We really appreciate your participation.
Thank you very much, Kimama. And on behalf of PALM, I want to thank everybody that came and participated in this forum. One assurance that I want to stand in behalf of PALM to tell everybody here is that, as we keep emphasizing, PALM is non-political. But within PALM, we have people with their own political views. We have NDC people in PALM, MPP, CPP. So nobody is going to watch for another party to take advantage of Ropaa. Maybe NDC people being scared that MPP might dominate, or MPP scared that NDC might dominate, or CPP. No. We have vigilant people that are making sure that this is going to benefit the good people of Ghana. Now, one more thing about what Doctor said about whether there's going to be election in Ghana or there's not going to be election in Ghana. That's up to the good people of Ghana to decide depending on what they see going on in the country. We are all individuals with our opinion. If the governance is good, then it's up to the people of Ghana to decide what they want to do, including ourselves as Ghanaians. Every taxation demands representation. And for as long as we Ghanaians living abroad pay taxes, like we contribute to the success of Ghana, it is our right to vote by constitution. We are doing it legally. That's why we're going through the court and all that. So it's our right to vote. We're not going to beg anybody or something. We're just going to keep fighting the fight peacefully, amicably, until we start voting. And hopefully that is going to happen. And we applaud and pray that all political parties will get involved with their own people. Anytime we're going to have anything concerning Ropaa, we need everybody to be part of it. MPP, NDC, CPP, independent candidates, everybody should be part of the effort. So that if you are part of it, then you will know how legit this whole program and movement is going to be. Last one, the gentleman that talked about the progress of Progressive Alliance Movement. Yes, there's going to be a lot of programs coming up this summer, God willing. We will do our best to get in touch with all of you again. If there's any support that we will need from you guys regarding our programs that we're going to be doing in the summertime, we'll let you know. Once again, we appreciate all of you, your efforts, and your hard work regarding this movement, Ropaa. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Nasiru. Nasiru is very active member in the Progressive Alliance Movement. I thank you all once again. Please, please, please do one thing for us. Visit our website, palmfire.org and register get all the events that's coming up. Thank you all very much. That's coming up. Have a wonderful holidays that is coming up, and thanks to all our speakers. Once, God bless you, and have a good evening wherever that you are. Thanks.
Very good. Thank you all. Thank you all for coming. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job, Key Mama. Great job.
Thank you, Key Mama. Thank you.
Thank you all, not just me. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you to everyone.
Thank you, God. Thank you. Good job. Keep Mama.
You're welcome. I want everybody to freely,
Thank you.
Nice.
Dr. Frederick Addo.
Yeah, good job. I think Dr. Kofi Boateng was the only